I think it's fuck around and find out Saturday. Some people are losing today, I think, that don't think they're going to lose. There'll be some mad fan bases today, I think. Maybe Georgia. You know, Georgia can't win every game from here to the end of eternity. Eventually, they're going to lose one. Right, Florida State, man? Sometimes you lose games, don't you? If you can't get excited about today's slate of games, you ain't a college football fan. This is what it's all about today. Jim Harbaugh is coming over to watch the games with me since he doesn't have shit else to do. Georgia played, woo! Fuck around and find out Saturday. Well, Jim Harbaugh fucked around and found out yesterday. Michigan scrambling, trying to find a court that'll unlock the doors for them so they can go in and cry and plead their case. Anyway, we'll see if anything happens on that during the show today. But, of course, Jim Harbaugh was suspended yesterday by the Big Ten for the remainder of the regular season. He can coach during the week. He can participate in practices and all that kind of thing. Basically, the only thing he can't do is show up at the games on Saturday. Michigan filed an emergency injunction last night in some court in Michigan somewhere where the judge both attended the University of Michigan and currently lectures at the University of Michigan. So we'll see if anything happens with that today before kickoff. But as of right now, Jim Harbaugh barred from the sideline for the remainder of the regular season. What a shame. It's almost like cheating has consequences. I don't know. It's almost like cheating has I think it's hilarious. Look, the sort of evolution that Michigan fan has gone on over like the last 3 weeks is just absolutely unbelievable. From we didn't do anything. This isn't true. This is all fake. None of this happened. It's all a lie. It's all made up. None of it's real. That's how they started. Then it went to, well, yeah, Connor Stallions bought tickets for people to go to games, but there's nothing wrong with buying your friends a ticket to a game. Then it came out, it was like 30-something games, and it was even like potential playoff opponents and all this kind of stuff. And then they were like, well, I mean, he didn't go, so I don't really understand the big deal. Like, he wasn't the one at the game, so technically it's not breaking the rules in that. Then we get pictures of Connor Stallions dressed up on the sideline in some sort of Ethan Hunt Mission Impossible costume. And the Michigan fans are right back to state of denial. That's not him. I don't know who that is. He has a hair, and this guy doesn't have hair, and it's, you know, blah, blah, blah. Well, turns out it is him. And then they go, well, it was him, but who let him on the sideline? I mean, he didn't just sneak on the sideline. Obviously, Central Michigan let him on there, which, of course, doesn't matter. He's not allowed to be on that sideline regardless of who let him on there or whether he snuck on or not or whatever the case is. But anyway, they went on with that, you know. Then reality slowly started to set in. They started to realize, okay, Connor Stallions done fucked up here. And Michigan suspended him with pay. before the investigation was done. The investigation was not complete into Connor Stalions. In fact, it had just started. Michigan suspends him. Michigan fans rejoice. Yay, we got rid of the problem. Look at us. We did the right thing. We suspended him. Even though the investigation isn't finished, we went ahead and suspended him. End of story. Case closed. Well, of course, it wasn't case closed. Information started to come out that the Big Ten was investigating and looking to impose some sort of punishment on Michigan or the team or the university or Jim Harbaugh or whatever. And then they went right into this thing about, well, you can't do that. You got to wait till the investigation is complete. Well, what about Connor Stalions? We didn't have to wait till the investigation was complete to suspend him, did we? No. So there's no need in waiting on any investigation to get completed. And we all know why Michigan fans want to wait for the investigation to get completed before any punishments come down. And that's because they want to be able to play out the remainder of this season, hopefully ending in a national title, even though they cheated to get there, so they can experience the joy of seeing their team win a national title. 3 years down the road, when the NCAA wraps up their investigation, comes back, strips Michigan of that national title, vacates all their wins over the last 3 years, they won't care because you can't take away the memories that occurred over the course of the season. So we know why they want it pushed off. But it didn't get pushed off. Jim Harbaugh got suspended. Now, I don't think that's nearly enough, and so now they're on to the thing, well, you can't prove Jim Harbaugh knew what Connor Stalions was doing or what was going on or that he was involved in it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether he knew or didn't know. Then they go to the whole, well, it's not even really any advantage. Everybody steals signs. It's not an advantage. Well, Michigan obviously thought it was an advantage and obviously thought it was an advantage that they needed, or else they wouldn't have implemented the most sophisticated Mission Impossible style scheme, including disguises and everything else, to get other teams signs illegally, or not illegally, but against the rules. Michigan obviously thought it was giving them an advantage, or they wouldn't have done it. I can promise you these college football programs don't do anything that they don't think helps them, whatever it is, whether it's within the rules or outside of the rules. Let's look at Tennessee. Tennessee was caught cheating. They bought a bunch of players. It didn't help them at all, and that's a fact. That's a proven fact. Because they were absolute dog shit even when they were cheating. It didn't matter that the Tennessee cheating didn't give Tennessee a noticeable advantage on the field. That has nothing to do with it. Whether Michigan gained any advantage from their from breaking all those rules is irrelevant. It doesn't even matter. But of course they gained an advantage. I mean, any common sense human being knows they gained an advantage from what they were doing. Of course they did. But even if you think they didn't, that's irrelevant. Tennessee didn't gain any advantage by cheating and buying players. They were still a shitty fucking team, a shitty fucking program with a shitty fucking coach. It didn't matter that their cheating didn't benefit them. They were punished for cheating, not the results of the cheating. The results of the cheating are irrelevant. And now I hear this. Well, what about the irreparable harm? This is the language and the wording that's in the emergency injunction that Michigan has filed with the court, basically saying you need to overturn this suspension. You need to put a 14-day hold on this suspension because without due process, suspending Jim Harbaugh is causing irreparable harm to Jim Harbaugh's reputation and irreparable harm to the players on the team who now have to play games without their head coach. Hey, what about the irreparable harm that was done to all of the players and teams that you have cheated over the last 2.5 years? What about that? What about that irreparable harm? That harm can't be fixed. It can't be fixed. You cheated. What about that irreparable harm? And as far as Jim Harbaugh's reputation goes, these same Michigan fans that are lined up behind Jim Harbaugh wanted his ass thrown out 2 years ago. And Jim Harbaugh doesn't give a fuck about you, Michigan fan, or Michigan. That's why every single January He's interviewing with NFL teams. As soon as an NFL team is dumb enough to hire Harbaugh, he'll be gone. He doesn't even want to be there. So why y'all are choosing to die on this hill? The most obvious case of caught red-handed in-season cheating that I've ever seen in 40 years of being a college football fan. We catch a lot of teams cheating 2 years later. You know, some report will come out. Oh, Tennessee bought players 2 years ago. Oh, Ole Miss bought players 2 years ago and was hiring prostitutes. Oh, Reggie Bush's family was given a house 2 years ago in Los Angeles. Got to take his Heisman away. We always find out later. We're finding out in real time Michigan was actively involved in a cheating scheme. They got caught red-handed, hand in a cookie jar, and these fans are lined up like they did nothing wrong. And they have ran through a list of excuses over the last 3 weeks, and every time one excuse becomes invalid, they move on to another one. We didn't do anything. Okay, we did something, but it was just Connor Stallions. Okay, maybe it helped us a little bit. Or maybe Connor Stallions was cheating, but it didn't help us any. Okay, maybe it helped us a little bit, but other teams were stealing signs too. Yeah, stealing signs isn't against the rules, dummy. Stealing signs is not against the rules, okay? It's how you acquire the signs is the problem. You can't, in-person scouting is a problem. Dressing up one of your coaches like fucking where in the world is Carmen Sandiego and sending him onto a sideline is the problem. Everybody does it. No, nobody does it. Nobody in the history of sports has done this. And to cry over a 3-game suspension when you're lucky that's all you're getting. Michigan should be barred from the Big Ten title game. The playoff committee should remove them from their rankings. Now, none of that's going to happen. None of that's going to happen. They're getting a slap on the wrist with Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh has now been suspended for half of this season's regular season games. Half. And none of those suspensions are from the NCAA. None. Not a single one. Jim Harbaugh has been suspended for 3 games at the beginning of the season by his own school. Michigan suspended Jim Harbaugh, not the NCAA. The NCAA still hasn't finished their investigation. Michigan preemptively suspended Jim Harbaugh to lighten the blow whenever the NCAA does finish its investigation into the other cheating scandal they had from illegal practices back in COVID. So suspended 3 games by his own school and now suspended 3 games by his own conference. Dirtiest program in America right now, the Michigan Wolverines. I don't understand. I don't get it. Suspended 3 games by your own school, 3 games by your own conference now. And now you got Michigan fans and other people running around talking about, well, we're just going to leave the Big Ten. No, you're not. You ain't going nowhere. You're in the Big Ten now, Big Ten tomorrow, Big Ten forever. Stop that Florida State offseason bullshit. You're not leaving the Big Ten. You're not. You're not going anywhere. You're in the Big Ten now, you Big Ten tomorrow, Big Ten forever. Stop it. You got caught cheating. You're not the first team. You're not the first team to get caught cheating. What are you doing? Taking your own conference to court. Why didn't Jim Harbaugh take Michigan to court at the beginning of the season? Thank you, baby. Why didn't Jim Harbaugh take Michigan to court at the beginning of the season, but now they want to take the Big Ten to court? You got caught cheating. That's all there is to it. As a fan, you don't have to like it, but you got caught red-handed cheating in this current season. Like I said, that's what makes this case unusual. That's why people want punishment now. It's rare that you catch one of these teams in the act. You usually find out years down the road. And that's always been the problem. Here's what happens when a team gets in trouble 2 years down the road. Every single time. And to a certain degree, it's a legitimate argument. A team cheats, right? They get caught 2 years later. There's an investigation that takes another 2 years. By the time the investigation is complete, it's been 4 years since the cheating happened. None of the coaches are still at the school. None of the players involved are still at the school, right? But still, the school gets punished. And what does everybody say? Well, this isn't fair. This isn't fair. You're punishing coaches and kids that weren't even there when the cheating happened. Well, now we have a case of cheating that is happening right now. Every coach involved is at Michigan right now. Every player that benefited from that cheating is at Michigan right now. The Big Ten is doing the right thing by punishing Michigan right now. And Michigan fans are running around going, no, we got to wait till 3 years down the road. I guarantee you, 3 years down the road, when the NCAA drops the hammer on Michigan, which is going to happen, you know what Michigan fans are going to say? This isn't fair. None of the players involved are even here anymore. None of the coaches are here because Jim Harbaugh is going to be gone. The entire staff is going to be gone. And y'all same Michigan fans that are crying about waiting for due process today are going to be balled up in the corner in a fetal position, bitching and moaning about how it's not fair that the NCAA is punishing Michigan for something that somebody else did. And here they are, the Big Ten, trying to actually punish the people involved today, and you're still bitching and moaning about it. Michigan cheated. They got caught red-handed. All these people that say we need to wait on the evidence, we need to do blah, blah, blah. No, maybe there's more to the story. I guarantee you, the more we find out, a year from now, 2 years, the worse it's going to get for Michigan. The worse it's going to get. You have to be willfully ignorant to legitimately think that Michigan did not cheat or break any rules. You've got to be either the thickest Homer shades in the history of mankind, or you've got to be a complete fucking idiot. Those are the only two choices. All you need to see is the picture of Connor Stallions on the Central Michigan sideline. That is the only bit of evidence you need to know Michigan did something wrong. What all did they do wrong? What was the extent of it? How deep did it go? Who all knew? You can take from now to kingdom come to figure all that out if you want to. But Michigan was caught cheating red-handed this season. And I'm all for punishment this season. The 3-game suspension, fine. I think the Big Ten should bar them from the Big Ten title game. They're not going to do it, but I think they should. I think the playoff committee, who said a couple of weeks ago, we're not going to pass judgment on a team unless the NCAA or some sanctioning body has done something to a team. It's not our place to judge whether or not that team did something. Well, now a sanctioning body has placed judgment on Michigan. And I think the College Football Playoff Committee, if they chose to, would be within their rights to unrank Michigan. It's not the playoff committee making a determination on whether or not Michigan did something wrong, which I would strongly disagree with. I don't think the playoff committee has any business trying to decide on their own whether or not a team, a coach, a player, whatever, broke a rule or did anything. That's not their place. But if somebody whose place that is, like the Big Ten, decides, you know what, Michigan did break the rules, we're handing down a suspension, then I think the playoff committee not only has a right, but has an obligation to say, we cannot reward this team for what they've done. I don't think they'll do it, but I think they should do it. You know what everybody wants that's in charge? Everybody. Whether you're the Big Ten commissioner, the NCAA, the playoff committee. You know what they all want? They all want Michigan to lose, not because they hate Michigan. Nobody's out to get Michigan. Oh, everybody just hates Michigan. Nobody gives a fuck about Michigan. Nobody. Nobody hates Tennessee. That's not why. Tennessee didn't get caught cheating because everybody hates Tennessee. Ole Miss didn't get caught cheating because everybody hates Ole Miss. No, these teams got caught cheating. Listen to me. I want you to look. I know this is hard for some of you to believe. You know why these teams got caught cheating? Because they were cheating. I'll talk 2 hours about this. I don't give a fuck. Fuck the games. I'll talk 2 hours about this today. I'll just go on and on. Nobody hates Michigan. They fucking cheated. They cheated. They got caught red-handed. But all these people in charge, they want Michigan to lose. Why? So they can abdicate their responsibility. That's what they want. None of these people in charge want to be the one that actually does anything. They're like fucking politicians. These politicians get elected, and their only fucking goal is to not pass anything. Why? Because if they pass something, and it either doesn't work, or it hurts you some type of way, right? Then when they get ready to run for office again, they got to answer questions about it. So their only fucking job is to do nothing. Why do you think Congress has not passed a budget in 30 fucking years? Why do you think Congress won't declare war whenever we go to war every other week? They don't want the fucking responsibility. They want somebody else to do it. They want the power. They want the money. They want the clout. They want the prestige. They don't want any of the responsibility that goes along with it. And it's the same way with the playoff committee, the Big Ten, and the NCAA. They just want Michigan to lose so that we can rank them 5 and be done with them. That's all they want. That's it. Nobody, that's it. There aren't any fucking leaders. There aren't any leaders. Where's the leaders? Where? There aren't any. The only reason Tony Petitti is doing anything at all, the commissioner of the Big Ten, is because he's responsible for 14 teams. 13 of them are going, you better fucking do something. That's the only reason. That's it. Not because he's got some kind of sack on him. No, he doesn't want to do this. He's doing it because the other 13 teams are demanding it, and he's making a choice. Hell, I'm going to either piss one team off or 13. I guess I'll piss the one team off. That's it. That's all he's doing. Where's all these Michigan fans that have been telling me since 4 o'clock yesterday, this is going to get overturned by the court? Harbaugh won't miss a single game. Where I'm on Twitter. Where the fuck are y'all? Y'all were all over Twitter yesterday. Now, you're locked out of your Twitter account now? Where are you? Don't make me scroll through all my notifications, hundreds of them, to find you. You find me. You come find me and tell me you were wrong. Nothing's going to happen. The Big Ten's not going to do nothing. We didn't do nothing. Big Ten not going to do nothing. Harbaugh not going to miss nothing. Okay. All right. If this was Georgia, you'd be singing a different tune. No, I wouldn't. No. Do a quick YouTube search for Uncle Lou Todd Gurley. You know how many Georgia fans I pissed off because I said Gurley's got to get suspended? Sorry, broke the rules. Don't care. You don't like the rule. You knew the rule. You broke the rule. Sit down. Plain fucking English. Look it up for yourself on YouTube. 2014, 2015, whenever the fuck that was. Pissed off the entire Georgia fan base. I don't give a fuck. The rules are the rules. You don't have to like them, but everybody's got to play by the same ones. Todd Gurley signed a couple autographs in the backseat of a car. It was against the rules. Sorry. That's a stupid rule. There's lots of stupid rules. I had one idiot on Twitter yesterday go, I guarantee you all these SEC homers wasn't screaming about how Auburn national title from 2010 should have been. I'm like, what, were you not alive in 2010? Shit. 101% of the people in the SEC footprint who were not Auburn fans were all screaming for Auburn to be suspended and sat down and banned from the postseason. 101%, 101 out of every 100 people. What the fuck is wrong with you? Everybody was beating that drum down here. Everybody knew what was going on. Everybody wanted Auburn suspended. The NCAA fucked that investigation up. We all know what happened. Cam Newton's dad got a new roof on his church. I mean, shit. Everybody knows it but the NCAA, I guess. But no, people. And then Desmond Howard. If this happened in the SEC, this would never happen in the SEC. What? Never happened in the SEC? Ole Miss and Tennessee have both had wins vacated in the last 6 or 7 years. Dummy. You cheated. Nothing you've done in the last 2.5 years means anything to me. Nothing. You fucking cheated. You cheated. The holiday season is fast approaching. You know what makes a great gift? A Michigan Cheated t-shirt for your neighbors and loved ones. Check out the Uncle Lou Teespring store. All kinds of amazing t-shirts on there, including this brand new Michigan Cheated t-shirt. And don't forget to keep your head warm, too, with an Uncle Lou beanie or ski cap. You know you need it. You know you need it. You might need it in Athens tonight, but if you order it now, it won't get there in time, but you'll have it for next time, you know? You'll have it for next time. Link in the description of the video. Pick up your Michigan Cheated shirt or whatever other Uncle Lou paraphernalia you might need. There's the link right there. Michigan Cheated. All right, can we move on? Boy, y'all got me riled up. Y'all got me riled up, and the games ain't even started. Today's going to be a great day of games. We're going to do the normal show now. Is it all right if we do the normal show now? Can I have 30 seconds to gather myself here? What are we doing? Can you give me 30 seconds to gather myself? Thank you. Ohio State had wins vacated because they got a free tattoo. And Michigan fans threw a fucking parade. But this doesn't rise to the level of punishment? Y'all are retarded. This guy just hates Michigan and loves Ohio State. Fuck Ohio State. Ohio State can kiss my fucking ass. This doesn't have anything to do with Ohio State. Michigan cheated. Lou's just scared that Georgia might have to play Michigan in the playoffs. You cheated last time against Georgia and got your fucking ass beat. You haven't beat a team outside the Big Ten since fucking COVID. I haven't talked about any games, dummy. So how could I talk about other games? I haven't talked about any games at all. So don't tell me to talk about other games. Make sure you read the poll question carefully. Not who do you think is going to win. I think Michigan's going to win. The question is, who do you want to win? All right. Let's talk about some games.
I partnered with Respawn.
No, nobody gives a fuck.
Weeks.
Who you partnered with? Partner with these nuts. Where were we? Oh, yeah. Is that big enough? Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? How's that? There you go. All right. Number 3, Michigan on the road at number 10, Penn State, 12 o'clock on Fox. I cannot pick Penn State in one of these big games. Forget all the outside noise and all that. I honestly don't have any idea what type of effect that's going to have at all. Maybe Michigan rallies the troops, circle the wagons type of deal. Plus, just Michigan has just looked like a better team all year. Cheating has that effect. But other than it being a home game for Penn State, I just don't see any advantages there. Now, there are a lot of people picking Penn State not only to cover but to win. And I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. It's just I've been wrong on Penn State too many times in these big games. I can't go down that road again. The next time I'm wrong on Penn State in a big game, it's going to be because I picked against them and they won, not because I picked them and they lost. I think Michigan wins. Alabama on the road at Kentucky. This is another one. When you listen to people talk about Alabama versus Kentucky, it feels like they're trying to convince you that Kentucky has a chance. Like, they don't, though. It feels like people are trying to talk you into, come on, watch the game. Kentucky might be able to do. No, Kentucky's not going to do anything. Devin Leary's a trash can. Outside of one game against Tennessee, I don't think he's completed a pass this season. Alabama will roll, in Uncle Lou's opinion. I think Kansas keeps it going with a win at home over Texas Tech. I think Tulane will win at home today. What else we got? Vanderbilt at South Carolina in the somebody has to win game. I think that somebody is South Carolina. Like an idiot, I picked Vandy over 3.5 wins. They're at 2 wins. They'd have to win their next 2 games. That's not happening. What do they got? This one in Tennessee or whatever the fuck. They're not getting there. I think South Carolina wins today at home. Virginia Tech at Boston College. Boston College is terrible. They're so terrible they only lost to Florida State by 2. I think Virginia Tech gets a win on the road over our horrific Boston College team. Georgia Tech at Clemson. Now, I do think this game will be interesting here. Georgia Tech, I don't want to say they're on a roll, but they do look better. And Haynes King has been playing well. Now, this will be the best defense he's played this season outside of maybe Miami. I think Georgia Tech can keep this one close. I don't know if I could pull the trigger on picking an upset here with Georgia Tech winning on the road at Clemson, but this ain't your daddy's Clemson. Actually, it is your daddy's Clemson. That's the problem. This isn't your Clemson. Your Clemson is good. Your daddy's Clemson was terrible. This might be your daddy's Clemson. I think Clemson probably wins a close one, though, but can they turn the ball over less than 3 times, Clemson? I mean, that would be a step in the right direction. Arizona on the road at Colorado. I think Arizona rolls. Colorado is imploding. They're not any good. And Arizona is. That's pretty much all there is to that. Kansas State will take care of business at home against Baylor. Really bad season for Baylor this year. Miami at Florida State. Not the most exciting Miami-Florida State game in history. You got to go back about 25 or 30 years to find those. But more interesting than it's been in a while, Florida State, of course, undefeated, on their way to the ACC championship game. And there's some question or debate about whether or not they could afford a loss. Obviously, it depends on how everything else plays out in all the other conferences coast to coast. But a 12-1 Florida State team with an ACC title probably getting in the college football playoff, but not definitely. So obviously they want to win this game, not just for that reason, but it's a rivalry game. Miami, another disappointing season, which is a trend for them over the last 20-plus years. I have a hard time believing Miami can go in there and win the game. Tyler Van Dyke has just been bad. Unless Florida State man wants to tell me about the receiver situation or something, I'm assuming Florida State will win. If Florida State is half as good as their fans think they are, Florida State will win by 3 touchdowns. Utah on the road at Washington. This is one I've changed my mind on. I picked Washington early in the week on the Lunch Money Show to win and cover the spread. I've changed my mind. I now think Washington wins a close game. I still think they win, but I think it will be close. Tennessee at Missouri is another very interesting game. Tennessee's still alive in the SEC East. They need a win and a Georgia loss. If both of those things don't happen, they're eliminated. They have to win, and Georgia has to lose for Tennessee to stay alive in the East. So plenty of motivation there for Tennessee. Missouri's at home. Best year for Missouri in a while. This feels kind of like a winner makes a New Year's Six bowl. Is kind of what it feels like to me. Winner probably makes a New Year's Six bowl. Loser probably headed to like a Citrus or whatever they're calling the Outback Bowl these days. That's what it feels like to me. I think Tennessee wins. Too much ground game. I think Tennessee runs for over 200 yards and beats Missouri, which is great news for me because I want the Tennessee man's head inflated next week when we go up there and knock their dick in the dirt. Oklahoma State on the road at Central Florida. Another popular upset pick this week is Central Florida at home over Oklahoma State. I don't see it happening. I don't think it was a fluke that Oklahoma State beat Oklahoma. They have been a different team the last 5 or 6 weeks, Oklahoma State has. They've looked really good. They've got one of the best running backs in the country, and running game travels better than passing game. I'll take the running game of that Ollie character, Allen Ollie, Ollie Allen, whatever, Ollie Oxen Free, I don't know. But I'll take Oklahoma State to win on the road over the Fighting Goose Malzoons. Rutgers at Iowa, only interesting because it's a historical betting number. For those of you that don't bet on college football, you're not going to care about any of this, but the over-under point total for this game, Rutgers and Iowa, and we'll check the updated one in a second, but it was down to 28 points yesterday. That is the lowest over-under in a college football game in decades. Decades. And 80% of the money is on the under. You know what that means? Bet the over. Iowa will win. But I would bet the over there. Speaking of betting, I got a great betting story for you in a minute after we run through these games. If I can remember, which, of course, sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. If I forget, just remind me. If I forget, just remind me. Are y'all okay? Has everyone calmed down? Y'all were off the chain at the beginning of the show. I don't know what y'all, that first 30 minutes, y'all were wild. I don't know what's gotten into y'all. What else of note? Auburn at Arkansas. Arkansas finally got an SEC win last week. I tell you, the cure for whatever ails you, play Florida. That's the cure for whatever ails you. Something bothering you? Offense not clicking? Defense giving up too many points? Whatever it is, just play Florida. Just play Florida. It will solve all your problems. That's what Arkansas did last week, and they went ahead and got a win. Unfortunately for Arkansas, I do not think they get 2 wins in a row. I actually like Auburn on the road today. I'll take Hugh Freeze over Sam Pittman. At least for today. I like Auburn in that one. Stanford at Oregon State. Is Oregon State the worst team in the top 12? Well, I mean, they're 12th. But yeah, they are. I don't know. They're not the 12th best team in the country. They've got the record though, so they're ranked 12. But there they go. Ole Miss on the road at Georgia. This is a dangerous game for Georgia. I'm not all trolling aside. I don't like Lane Kiffin as a head coach, and he has a tendency to shit the bed in these types of games, and I'm counting on him doing that today. But he has an elite offensive mind, and he's going to throw everything he has at Georgia in this game. I have no doubt. Could be raining. I don't know if that helps or hurts one certain team or another. I don't know. I've never seen Carson Beck play in the rain. I don't know. Never seen Jackson Dart play in the rain either. I do think Ole Miss has a better running game than Georgia. So maybe a wet field benefits Ole Miss. I don't know. I do know this, though. The weather will be the same for both teams. I checked. I called AccuWeather. I called, what's the guy that stands out in the hurricanes? Hey, what's that guy's name that stands out in the hurricanes? Jim Cantore? Yeah. I called Jim Cantore, and he told me he's not 100% sure what the weather will be at kickoff, but he's 100% sure that the weather will be the same for both teams. So I expect Georgia to win at home and keep both their home winning streak alive and increase their overall winning streak from 26 to 27. I'll take the dogs there. West Virginia on the road at Oklahoma. Oh, Will Brock Bowers play today? Will Brock Bowers play today? Let's start a new poll. Let's end this poll. Yeah, of course, y'all. I figured, everybody wants Penn State to win. Let's start another poll. Lots of rumors, lots of smoke, lots of, I have a friend of a friend who gets their hair cut by somebody who snuck into Georgia's practice on Tuesday, and Brock Bowers looked good. That kind of thing. Will Brock Bowers play at all? Yes or no? Yes or no? Will he play at all? Yes or no? I'm leaning towards no. I would be leaning towards no anyway, just given the time frame we're at right now. But if it is going to be wet, I don't know that those conditions would be conducive to making a return from ankle surgery, where it's a lot easier for your foot to slip, that type of deal. Now, it's senior night, and I know Brock Bowers isn't a senior, but you all know how this works. If you're a junior and you're likely going pro, you can walk on senior night. You can get your name announced and come out and all that. I'm hoping at the very least, maybe they let Brock Bowers dress out and have his name announced and walk out onto the 50-yard line and that whole deal like they do the rest of the seniors or juniors or whatever it is that might be going pro, so that Brock Bowers can get what I think he is owed and deserves, and that I know the crowd really wants to give him, which is one final standing ovation for Brock Bowers. This will be Georgia's last home game of the season. This will be the last time Brock Bowers suits up in Sanford Stadium, if he suits up. I think it's more likely something like that happens than it is that Brock Bowers plays 10 plays, 2 targets, 1 catch. Like, I don't really see that happening. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I want everybody to play. But I don't think it's in the cards. But I hope I'm wrong on that. But I got the dogs. West Virginia on the road at Oklahoma. What has happened? Oklahoma? What do I do here? Oklahoma is one of the most disappointing teams in the country over the last 2 or 3 weeks. West Virginia is one of the most surprisingly good teams. West Virginia or Arizona? I think West Virginia and Arizona are probably the two teams, at least record-wise, that you look at their record and you go, what? Wow. I'm going to give Oklahoma the benefit of the doubt here. I think Oklahoma wins at home, but I do not think this is some kind of guaranteed win for the Sooners, especially after what I've seen the last couple of weeks. But I am going to pick Oklahoma there in that spot. Michigan State on the road at Ohio State. Michigan State's another team where if something's wrong, playing them usually fixes it. I would expect Ohio State to put up numbers in this game offensively, which is rare for Ohio State this year. Michigan State is so bad, I think even Kyle McCord will have a good game. I think Ohio State wins big. Texas on the road at TCU. Yeah, it's a road game, but Texas will win. TCU really, really bad. Quinn Ewers is back. Next week is the week. All you Alabama fans. All you Alabama fans, let's see, what is Alabama fans, who is Alabama fans rooting for today? Well, Alabama fans, of course, are rooting for TCU. Alabama fans are rooting for Southern Cal to beat, who's Southern Cal playing? Oregon. They're rooting for Southern Cal to beat Oregon. They're rooting for TCU to beat Texas. They're rooting for, Utah to beat Washington. What else are they rooting for? Well, they're rooting for Ole Miss to beat Georgia. Bama does not want to see Georgia in the SEC title game. Bama wants Georgia to lose to Ole Miss and Tennessee so that they get to beat up on a terrible Tennessee team again. That's what they want. Point is, Alabama's stuck behind the 8 ball at number 8. They've been crying and complaining about it for 2 weeks, and the reality is they just need a bunch of teams to lose because they didn't win their games. So, the Alabama fan wearing a bunch of hats the next couple of weeks that aren't Alabama hats. It's weird to see and honestly kind of sad. Florida on the road at LSU. Night game, Baton Rouge. Jaden Daniels is supposedly playing, and Florida is a horrific mess of a football team. I think LSU wins that one. Mississippi State on the road at Texas A&M. I'm going to take Texas A&M at home, but, I wouldn't bet $1 on that one. If you're betting money on Texas A&M, you're just allergic to money, but for my pick, I'll take Texas A&M in that. Duke at North Carolina. Is this a football game or? Yes, it is. I'm probably going to take the chicken way out on that one and take North Carolina to win, but probably Duke to cover. We'll look at the odds in a few minutes, but I don't know. North Carolina at home. I don't know if Duke can score enough. Arizona at UCLA. UCLA will win that one. Southern Cal at Oregon. I think Oregon doubles the point spread. Oregon's a 14 or a 15-point favorite. I think they absolutely roll. It's just not close at all for a variety of reasons, one of which being Southern Cal's not any good. The other one being they've got, their defense is a mess, fired Alex Grinch, whatever. Caleb Williams, what does he have to play for, really? I think Oregon rolls in that one. There you go. That's a rundown of today's games and when they come on so that you know what you need to watch and when you need to watch it. As far as me today, I'm glad you asked. I'll be live on LouTube for you at 3:30 for all the afternoon games. That's what I'm going to do today. 3:30 for the afternoon games. And then Patreon prime time. Now, here's the problem. The Georgia game comes on at 7. That's going to be the Patreon stream. So I'm ending the YouTube stream at 6:50, 6:55. Some of the 3:30 games might not be over yet. It is what it is. I'm going to end the YouTube stream at 6:55 and jump right on over to Patreon for the Georgia Ole Miss game at 7. So that's the bad news. The Georgia Ole Miss game will be on Patreon yet again. But the good news is next week's Georgia versus Tennessee game will be on YouTube. I struck a deal with the good people over on Patreon a couple of weeks ago. I said, okay, Georgia's got 3 good games in a row coming up. Missouri, Ole Miss, Tennessee. One of those games I'm streaming on YouTube. It's up to y'all which one. That's what I told them. I said, so based on how y'all vote over the next couple of weeks, that'll determine which one of those 3 Georgia games I stream on YouTube. Well, they voted the Missouri game onto Patreon. They've now voted the Ole Miss game onto Patreon. So next week's Tennessee-Georgia game will be on YouTube. So whether you're on the Patreon page or not, you'll be able to hang out with us if you choose to and watch the Georgia-Tennessee game. And then I'll pick a second. I'll let the people on Patreon pick the second time slot for next week. So there you go. That's that on that. That's that on that. There was a couple of football games last night, believe it or not. I don't know. I guess you do believe it. I wouldn't tell you if it wasn't true. North Texas at SMU and Wyoming at UNLV. I let the lady, I said, pick this game. We're going to bet $100 on it. Wyoming at UNLV. UNLV was a 3-point favorite. She picked UNLV. She has a 100% success rate. 100%. She's never got a game wrong that she's bet on, ever. She's 1 for 1. Shout out to the lady. She made herself $90. She bet 100. She won 90. So, should let BA make all the picks from now on. She's got to be better than we are. We're horrific at picking these games. All of us, as a group, are terrible at picking these games. Who'd we pick last week? Or who'd y'all pick last week? Let's see. Where's this at now? Can I even find it? And if I could find it, would it even matter? It's a fair question. Where is it? I can't even find it now. Who won the wheel last week? That's not it. Well, where's the damn wheel at? Where's the wheel? Who did we play last week? Mizzou. Rigged wheel. That's week 9. Where's week 10? Oh, here it is. They had UGA. And unfortunately, UGA did not cover. It was like Georgia minus 15, and Georgia won by 9. So, unfortunately, we didn't have a winner last week on the rigged wheel. But their loss is potentially your gain, because you know what that means. When we don't have a winner the previous week, we up the stakes this week. So 3 times your money on the rigged wheel today. 3 times your money today on the rigged wheel. I think most of y'all know what that is by now, but everybody that helps support the channel through PayPal or Cash App, at the end of the show, I will take your names from PayPal and Cash App, add them to a wheel, have your name on it. We spin the wheel. Whichever name the wheel lands on, you can pick any of the games today you want, and if you get the game right, I'll send you back 3 times whatever you sent me. We'll do 3 times the money today, since we didn't have a winner last week on 2 times the money. So good luck to everybody with the rigged wheel. Again, that's Cash App and PayPal. Those links are in the description of the video. I guess I can post them real quick in the chat. Let me see. Can I? I might can. Copy that. 10-4 over and out. Yeah, okay. There's the PayPal, and there's the Cash App. Unfortunately, I can't use super chats for giveaways. Although, of course, I do appreciate the super chats. Keep them coming. You can attach a note, question, comment, troll attempt, whatever you want to your super chat, and I'll be happy to read it and respond to it, which is what I'm about to do right now. But if you want your name on the wheel, it's got to be PayPal or Cash App, and I will pull all that up at the end of the show, and we'll go through and add the names to the wheel. Colby Covers says John the Liquidator owes me $800. Why 800? I thought it was 1,000. What's going on with that? Yesterday you were running around telling everybody he owed you 1,000. What are you changing your story? What's going on here? I'm starting to get alarmed here. There's some inconsistencies here. Oh, he paid you $200 last night? Well, at least he paid you something. Shit, what is he on, a payment plan? Well, what's the interest on that? Nick Koenig, thank you for the super chat. He says, Michigan rolling with the we're coming with a vengeance attitude for getting caught cheating is hilarious. I can't with these delusional morons, says Nick Koenig. King Family Reacts, thank you for the super chat. He says, good morning, buddy. Hope all is well on this fuck around and find out Saturday morning. Getting the day started chilling with y'all online down here in LaGrange, Georgia. Penn State takes down the cheaters today. That would make a lot of people happy, wouldn't it? Let's see how y'all voted in this Brock Bowers poll. 63% say no, Brock Bowers will not play at all. 36% say yes, he will. I hope the 36% is right. But if I was allowed to vote in my own poll, I also would have voted no. But I'm notoriously pessimistic. So, again, I hope I'm wrong and y'all are right. Inverted Thrill says, hey, Lou, you should flip our helmet upside down because we cheated. Hurts to say as a Michigan fan, but it's deserved. You know what? Glad you mentioned that. I have neglected the helmets all week long. I didn't fix the helmets on the Sunday Your Season is Over video. On Monday, when I did the top 25 video, I never changed the bottom row. It's still the old top 10. And this week, I received not one, but 5 mini helmets from y'all in the P.O. box. So during today's show, this one right here, I'm going to fix all that. I'm going to fix the top 10 live on stream for you. I'm going to fix the top 10. I'm going to turn the helmets over and around and all that like they're supposed to be. And we're going to add the 5 new helmets to the helmet wall. So I know everyone just can't wait for that. So if you were going to watch one Uncle Lou stream for your entire life, boy, you picked the right one. Because I'm going to take 5 minutes during this stream and rearrange my helmet wall. Y'all are in for a real treat. No doubt about it. Todd Doyle, thank you for the super chat. He says, any other university would have fired their coach. Michigan is simply desperate. It is weird. The whole relationship between Jim Harbaugh and Michigan, Jim Harbaugh and the fans, the whole thing is weird. Now, look, I completely understand that winning cures a lot of hurt feelings, right? I don't know, honestly, how I would react if my head coach every single January was trying to leave and then only comes back because no one else wanted him. I don't know how that would make me feel. It feels like Michigan is constantly Jim Harbaugh's second choice. It feels like Michigan is the backup plan for Jim Harbaugh. And I'm not talking shit. I mean, I've made videos going back a couple of years on this, and the Michigan fans felt the same way. Now, again, the obvious difference, and I get it, believe me, I get it, is back then, 2 or 3 years ago when we talked about that, Jim Harbaugh was busy losing to Ohio State every year, not winning the Big Ten, not making the playoffs. So it was easy as a Michigan fan to sort of let that piss you off, that he was basically, looking for another job every January. Now that he's winning, I get it. You're going to back your coach because he's winning. I get it. But it's just a weird back and forth there, how that's gone on. As far as firing him goes, it's strange to me that Michigan is backing Jim Harbaugh as strongly as they are here. It's weird to me. Because Michigan cheated. There is no doubt and no question. Zero. And and without getting into it again and getting myself worked up, in a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it takes for the NCAA to wrap the thing up, Michigan's going to be hit hard. And so it is weird that the administration is like all in on backing Jim Harbaugh. It's a little bit strange to me because it's not going to end well for Jim Harbaugh or Michigan. Terrence says, good morning. Good morning, Terrence. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you helping to support the show today. Carolina Jackpot, who, again, was the first one to send in for the rigged wheel this morning. Carolina Jackpot sent his rigged wheel in at like 7:30 this morning. Thank you, Jackpot. He says the Michigan fan rationale sounds an awful lot like another Blue Blood program's fan base a while back. Gotta go. I misplaced my wristband. Shot at Tennessee there. I see what he did there. The wristband comment. Jesus Christ Home Slice, thank you for the super chat. He says, according to Michigan Man, Alabama doesn't get caught cheating because no one hates Alabama. What? Huh? First of all, I hate Alabama. I've never once accused them of cheating. This idea that whoever's winning is cheating is just simple-minded and basic as fuck. That's it. It's we can't beat you, so you must be cheating. I backed Alabama 100% over the last 10 years when people would say, well, Alabama's cheating. Well, Nick Saban owns a Mercedes dealership, so everybody gets a car. Well, they're buying their players. What? Prove it. Where's the evidence at? The idea that somehow, and what's funny is every team that's winning gets accused of this. Every single team. You know who nobody was accusing of cheating at any point in the last 3 or 4 years? Nobody was running around accusing Tennessee of cheating, even though they were, and later got caught. And nobody was running around accusing Michigan of cheating. Nobody. There wasn't a soul on planet Earth 2 months ago that was running around going, man, Michigan's cheating. Nobody. But if you win, you're cheating. Everybody says Georgia's cheating now. No one told me Georgia was cheating in 2017 when we were this close to winning a national title. No one told me we were cheating in 2016 when we went 8-5. No one told me we were cheating in 2018 when we barely missed the playoffs. No one told me we were cheating in 2019 when we barely missed the playoffs. No one told me we were cheating in 2012 when we lost the SEC championship game to Alabama with a trip to the national championship against Notre Dame on the line. No one told me we were cheating in 2002 or 2005 when Georgia won SEC titles back in the Mark Richt days. But as soon as Georgia won a national title, well, Georgia's cheating. Georgia's cheating. God bless the basic and the simple is all I can say about that. God bless the basic and the simple. How many touchdowns does Bowers need for UGA to win? Georgia needs to score 5 touchdowns today. Would be good. Biggs Mikes, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Momo, for the super chat. Biggs Mikes, thank you. He says, morning, bud. Have a great football day. There's great games today. And it's spread out pretty good, too. You know, everybody's watching the Michigan-Penn State game at noon. That's a given. I don't care what you say. I don't care about you. Actually, you do. You're watching it. Everyone's watching it. It'll be the most watched game of the day. Michigan and Penn State at noon. 3:30, bunch of good games at 3:30. Several good games in prime time. They're spread out pretty good today. 3:30 is going to be rough, though, especially if you only have one TV. I've got 3 TVs, and that's not enough for the 3:30 time slot. Let's just run through these 3:30 games one more time. But listen to these games here. Utah at Washington. You need to watch it. Tennessee at Missouri. You need to watch that. What else this afternoon? Where'd it go? Oklahoma State at Central Florida. You need to watch it. Lots of good games on at 3:30. Auburn at Arkansas. And then tonight you got Ole Miss at Georgia, West Virginia at Oklahoma, Texas at TCU, Florida at LSU, Mississippi State at Texas A&M. Late night, Southern Cal at Oregon. That one's at 10:30. And then, of course, at noon, you've got the Michigan at Penn State, Alabama at Kentucky. Texas. I mean, it's just good games all day long. You need a bunch of TVs today. Thank you, Biggs Mike. Sort Beaver says, hype and hate live on stream. Yeah, you know, I was supposed to do that yesterday. My kids were out of school yesterday, and I had to take my daughter somewhere yesterday that I didn't know about ahead of time. That combined with the Jim Harbaugh news, it's a miracle I got 2 videos out yesterday. I did the 10 games in 10 minutes video, and then I did the Florida State versus Miami preview video. And about the time I would have done the hype and hate video, the Jim Harbaugh news broke. So I did the Jim Harbaugh video. So I just ran out of time because I had some things come up yesterday that what was a last minute thing with my daughter that took me a few hours to do. And so I just ran out of time and didn't have time to do the hype and hate video. So that's what happened. That's what happened with that. All right. Thank you all for hitting the super chats. All right. Let's pull up the lines. And I hope the lady's watching because she needs to pick some more winners today. She picked a winner yesterday. First game she's ever bet on. She took UNLV -3 at home against Wyoming. And she won. So I need you to pick some more winners today, lady. So I hope you're paying attention to this segment of the show. Michigan on the road at Penn State. This was 5.5. It's now down to 4.5. I guess as a result of the Harbaugh deal. I'm like everybody else, or almost everybody else. I'd love to see Michigan lose. I think it would be hilarious. I don't see it happening. I just cannot trust Penn State in these big games. I just can't. I've got to see it to believe it. But I'll be watching the game like everybody else will. I'll upload a halftime video and maybe even a post-game video about this game, but I just don't know if I can jump into the deep end and actually pick Penn State there in that one. Alabama at Kentucky. I don't have any mixed feelings on this one at all. I think Alabama will dominate and cover the 11.5 easily. They're too one-dimensional, Kentucky is, to really be able to compete against Alabama, even if Jalen Mildew has an average Jalen Mildew day. For all the attention Ray Davis got over the first month or so of the season, and he had the huge game against Florida, he's disappeared off the face of the earth over the last 3 or 4 games. He's just been a non-factor for Kentucky in the last 3, going back really to the Georgia game and every game since then. And Devin Leary has been one of the most disappointing transfer quarterbacks in all of college football this season. People talk about Graham Mertz and how he's sort of played better than what people thought he would play as a transfer to Florida. It's the opposite for Devin Leary. I think some people, myself included, thought he would have a good year at Kentucky. It hasn't happened. He's been a huge, massive disappointment at quarterback for Kentucky. Outside of that one game against Tennessee, where he went off for 300 and something yards, this guy struggles to pass for 100 yards, 150. He's just been horrific. I think Alabama covers the 11 easily there. I don't even think that game will be close or interesting. What else? Georgia Tech at Clemson. I like Georgia Tech plus 14.5. At 13.5, no, probably not. But I think Georgia Tech can keep it closer with Clemson. Clemson's going to give them a couple extra possessions with turnovers like they always do. Clemson turns the ball over 2-3 times a game like it's nothing. Cade Klubnik's an absolute disaster of a quarterback. I think Georgia Tech can keep that one closer than 14.5. Haynes King has been playing pretty good the last couple of weeks, quarterback for Georgia Tech. I do think Clemson will win the game, though. Vanderbilt at South Carolina. South Carolina favored by 13.5. Now, this is the same. Look, for those of y'all that bet, you hear people talk about the hook. Watch out for the hook. The hook will get you. So the Georgia Tech Clemson game, 14 is obviously a key number in betting. So 14.5 makes it dangerous to bet Clemson because, Clemson wins by 2 touchdowns. You lose the bet with the hook, the 0.5, which is the reason I like Georgia Tech here because it's 14.5. I like getting that extra half a point. You're not going to win every time because of the hook, but if you've gambled for any amount of time at all, you've lost games because of the hook plenty of times. So that's one of the factors that goes into me liking Georgia Tech here is the hook. The 14.5. The opposite is true down here. I like South Carolina because it's under the 14. And again, I'm no gambling expert. I'm just telling you in my mind. Don't ever bet on games because Uncle Lou said something about it. That's dumb. But 13.5, okay, Vanderbilt's the worst team in the league. They haven't won a game since September, I don't think. I'll take South Carolina right under that key number of 13.5. And 1 point might not matter all that much. But if it's 13.5 versus 14.5, that can matter a lot, just because 14 is a key number. So I like South Carolina there. So there you go. That's kind of a inside the demented mind of Uncle Lou there, and how I pick some of these games. What else is worth talking about here? Virginia Tech at Boston College. Virginia Tech's a 2-point favorite. So what are they telling you? Virginia Tech's just as good as Florida State. That's what they're telling you. Of course, Florida State beat Boston College by 2 at Boston College, and now Virginia Tech is favored by 2 at Boston College. So Florida State and Virginia Tech, 2 pretty equal teams. And Boston College is horrific, so of course I'll take Virginia Tech. Arizona at Colorado. I like Arizona. I'm off the Colorado. I think I picked Colorado the other day. I don't know what I was thinking in the video, taking Colorado plus 10. They're a disaster. There's just no way. Fuck Colorado. And fuck John the perpetrator too, or whatever his name is that dicked Colby over, who's a Colorado man. Fuck it, give me Arizona. Don't care. What are we doing now? Nevada ain't even got no damn helmet. Now that's bad. That's disrespectful. DraftKings, if you're watching this video, and I'm pretty sure that you are, give Nevada a fucking helmet, man. It's already bad enough you use these generic, I don't even know what these are, but give Nevada a helmet. Come on, man. That's disrespectful. Utah at Washington. Another one I've changed my mind on over the course of the week. I'm going to take Utah to keep it maybe closer than 8. Washington has not been all that impressive, really, since beating Oregon a month or so ago. I wouldn't bet this. It's at Washington, which is obviously a benefit. If this game was at Utah, I'd be all over plus 8. But if the game was at Utah, it wouldn't be plus 8. That's how, it would be plus 6. If this game was at Utah, I guarantee if this game was at Utah, it'd be plus 6 instead of plus 8. I'm going to take Utah. I'm not betting on this game, but for picks purposes, I'll take Utah plus 8. If Washington plays like they're capable of playing, they'll cover the 8 for sure. But I don't know. All right, Miami and Florida State. Florida State's favored by 14.5. I know all that shit I talked about the hook, but here's the deal. Florida State fans have been telling me for 2 months that they're the greatest team on the planet. If that's true, 14.5 is nothing against Miami. And Florida State fans also claim that they should be able to play good this week because they don't have any injuries, which is bullshit. They do have injuries. Everybody in the country has injuries. It's just that they only talk about the injuries when they struggle. Florida State does, like last week against a terrible Pitt team. But I'm taking Florida State to cover the 14.5. I don't think that game will be close. You talked me into it, Florida State, man, but I'm telling you right now, some of these teams are losing today. I don't know who. I don't know. That's the hard part. I don't know. Florida State and Miami. Florida State could lose. Georgia and Ole Miss. Georgia could lose. Michigan and Penn State. Michigan could lose. Washington and who? Utah. Washington could lose. Oregon and Southern Cal. Oregon could lose. What else? Now, that's a lot of could lose. They're not all going to lose. But I have a feeling pain is coming today for some fan base. Might be me. Might be me. Might be Florida State. Tennessee and Missouri. Tennessee will win. Luther Burden, they're saying less than 100%. I don't know the latest on that, but that was sort of the storyline this week. Brady Cook has been a turnover machine, which is weird. He broke all those records for pass attempts without interception. And then, like, the last 4 games, he's had interceptions. He had 2 last week against Georgia. I think Tennessee's going to pound them into submission. Tennessee's got a really good running game. I think they go over 200 yards rushing and get the win. I'll lay the 2.5 on the road at Missouri. Oklahoma State at Central Florida. This is one I'm not falling for the upset bait. There's a lot of upset talk on this one. I'm not falling for it. I like Oklahoma State. Lay the 2.5. What else is interesting on here? What else is interesting? Auburn, the barn. I like Auburn getting points here. In fact, I'll just take it on the money line at plus 110 and make myself some extra money. Don't want the 2.5 points. I think Auburn wins outright on the road at Arkansas. Arkansas beat Florida last week, but come on, that's Florida. That's Florida, man. Come on. They're terrible. Yeah. Ole Miss at Georgia, man. Well, you already know. Don't ever listen, when it comes to betting especially, don't listen to anything anybody has to say that's a fan of the team they're talking about. So in my case, don't listen to anything I say about betting on Georgia versus Ole Miss. Now, I do think Georgia wins the game. But as far as picking this game with the spread, minus 10.5, to win by more than that and all that, don't listen to anything I say. I've been wrong on almost every Georgia game this year. There's been games where I've picked Georgia to cover. When I do that, they usually don't cover. The games that I have not picked Georgia to cover, like Florida, I took Florida into points, Georgia covers. So, and not just me. You shouldn't listen, when it comes to betting, don't listen to a fan of the team. But I'm taking Georgia minus 10.5, which means Georgia will win by 7. But I'm taking Georgia minus 10.5. I'm sick. West Virginia to Oklahoma. I am going to take the 11.5. I think Oklahoma wins, but I like West Virginia with the points here. Florida at LSU. LSU. I'll take LSU minus 15 at home at night. Florida team that's looking at third losing record in a row. What a joke of a program Florida is. Cincinnati at Houston, 2 of the new teams in the Big 12. I'll take the home team, Houston, to cover the 2.5. Texas at TCU. I love Texas minus 12.5. I know it's on the road, but Quinn Ewers is back. And even if they don't want to, they can run the ball. Texas can. Jonathan Brooks could have a big game today. I think Texas covers the 12.5. Michigan State at Ohio State. I think Ohio State covers the 31. I think Ohio State has an offensive explosion today. Not because they figured something out. Not because Kyle McCord is suddenly good. No. Purely because they're playing a horrible Michigan State team. That's it. I'll take Ohio State late to 31. Mississippi State at Texas A&M. I'll take Mississippi State. How is Texas A&M favored by 18 over anybody? I don't know. I'll take Mississippi State in the 18 points. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Duke and North Carolina. I like North Carolina to win by more than 12.5. Couple of touchdowns. It's just too much offense. I don't think Duke can keep up. Riley Leonard just hasn't been the same since the injury a month or so ago. Even when he's played, he hasn't looked the same. Iowa State at BYU. You know what? I'm going to take the Bicycle College in the 8 points. I do think Iowa State will win, setting up a huge game next week with Texas. But this is a look-ahead spot for Iowa State here, and I think they get caught. I think they win the game, but really close. I'll take the Bicycle College in the 8 points. USC at Oregon. This game's all the way up to 16 now. I still like Oregon at 16. It was 14, then it was 14.5, then it was 15.5. Now it's 16. I still like Oregon. I think Oregon could win by 4 scores. There you go. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all the games. That's how you make or lose money betting on college football. Again, shout out to the lady. She picked the game last night and she got it right. It's not easy to do. So she's 1 for 1 in her career picking games. The lady is. So we made $90. She picked the game. She picked UNLV minus 3 against Wyoming, and they won by like 17 or something. Wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. So she made the pick. We bet $100 on it, and we won ourselves $90. So shout out to the lady. I got to get some more picks from her today. That's what I got to do. She's on fire. Have y'all ever done the thing where you let your wife, your girlfriend, whoever, pick a game solely based on which uniform they like the best? There's been people have done like experiments, where they take like a professional football handicapper and they have that person pick 10 games against a spread. Then they take somebody, a woman or whatever, who's never seen a football game, and they have her pick the same 10 games based solely on which uniform she likes the most. And it's pretty close every single time. It's pretty close. That's how hard it is to pick these games against the spread. It's not easy. We joke all the time around here about, oh, I got this game right and that game right. Nobody ever mentions the games that got wrong. It is extremely hard to pick these games against the spread. And the more games you pick, the harder it is. The harder it becomes. It's really hard to pick these games against the spread. So it's funny to see these experiments they do where they let somebody just pick just pick the team based on which helmet you like better. And they end up doing about the same as professional gamblers do as far as percentages go. All right. It's time to talk about food. Okay? It's why you're all here. It's the most popular segment on the show every Saturday morning. It's time to talk about game day food. I will start with what's on the agenda for Uncle Lou. Today is a day that I have been waiting for a while. I have been waiting to eat this for a while. It's gloomy here today. It's gray outside. It's cloudy. It's rainy. The high here today is only about 53, 54 degrees. Just a gloomy, wet, cold football Saturday. And Uncle Lou is making his world famous meatless chili. Type about it. Type about it. Every year y'all make fun of me. Every year I don't give a shit. And here we are again. Another year. Another batch of chili with no meat. And once again, I don't give a shit what you think about it. How spicy is it? I use mild chili seasoning mix, but I add Tabasco sauce to it. So it's not the hottest chili you've ever had, but it's not bland chili either. I do 4 or 5 different kinds of beans, tomato sauce, tomato paste. I chop up an onion and put in there, and I chop up a bell pepper and put in there. But I do not use meat. I will eat, if I go somewhere and they make chili with hamburger meat, which is traditional, or even I think some people use whatever, I'll eat it. It's not that I don't like it, but I actually prefer my chili without meat. I'm not a vegetarian. I love meat. I'd eat steak every day if I could afford it. I love meat. It's not that I don't like meat. For some reason, when it comes to chili, I prefer chili without meat in it. I don't really know why. But people make fun of me about it all the time. I really don't care. It's really good. It's really good. And then I top it off with some crackers and cheese, So that's what I'm doing. I'm having chili today. Now that's this afternoon. I'm also having breakfast today, which is, I don't do that often, but I'm having bacon, eggs, and biscuits, like for lunch, basically, when the show ends today. So, I don't even know, what time is it? It's 10:30. So in about 30 minutes, I'm eating bacon, eggs, and biscuits, which is my favorite breakfast meal, home-cooked breakfast meal. Some people do the pancakes. Some people like, French toast. I like pancakes. I like French toast. I like waffles. But my favorite homemade breakfast is bacon cooked extra crispy, eggs fried sunny side up in the bacon grease. That's the key. Try this if you haven't done it. If you're gonna, the next time you get ready to make bacon and eggs, you can do this even with scrambled eggs. Fry the bacon first. Depending on how much grease you get from the bacon, you can pour some of it out, but you got to leave the majority of the grease in the pan. Then cook your eggs. If you're going to fry your eggs like the over easy deal, crack the egg, put it in the pan. You don't even have to turn the egg over. With a spatula, you just splash bacon grease from the pan up onto the top of the egg. for a minute and a half, and the egg is done. If you want scrambled eggs, scramble your eggs up in a Tupperware bowl, whatever you do, and then pour the scrambled eggs in with the bacon. But use the bacon grease. It makes the eggs so much better. So that's what I do. I fry the bacon, then I make the eggs in the bacon grease, and then I make bacon and egg sandwiches on a biscuit is what I do. That's Uncle Lou's favorite home-cooked breakfast. Yeah, me too. That fried egg, sunny side up, over easy. I like them runny. I like the yolk runny. That's why I don't even flip the egg over. I crack the egg, I put it in the pan, I take a spatula, I splash bacon grease up on top of the egg as the bottom of the egg is cooking on the pan for a minute and a half, whatever, then the egg's done. That's it for me. Nick Koenig, thank you for the super chat. He said, Steve Deese from the Michigan podcast says Big Ten is only relevant because of Michigan, and they're the cash cow of the North, and we all hate greatness. Yeah, I don't know who Steve Deese is, but no one hates Michigan. And are they a cash cow? Yeah, but so is Ohio State, so is Penn State, so is every team in the Big Ten. So Michigan's not leaving the Big Ten. They're not going anywhere. It's just, they're just mad. Woe Todd 99 says SEC championship game could be decided today. Yes, it could. Yes, it could. Kirby Smart is on set on College Game Day, which, of course, is broadcasting live from Athens, Georgia today, the center of the college football universe, as Georgia sits on top of a 26-game winning streak, tied with Nick Saban for longest winning streak, right? Nick Saban, longest winning streak, 26 games. Is that right? Wow. What does that mean if Georgia wins today? Oh, just be another category where Kirby's ahead of Saban. It's amazing. Do you think FSU has perfect regular season? Yes, I do. I think there's a possibility of a massive upset today against Miami or 2 weeks against Florida, but I don't think it's anywhere close to likely. Tanner O says, need court ruling for injunction soon to allow Jim to come out to Stone Cold's theme music in Happy Valley to complete the heel turn. Well, all the Michigan people told me that the court ruling was coming at 12. This is how these Michigan people, they were convinced the court ruling was going to come at 12:01 last night. Why 12:01? Because all of the Twitter lawyers are convinced that the judge is going to sign a 14-day injunction. And by waiting till 12:01 to sign it, that guarantees that Jim Harbaugh can coach in the Ohio State game. Of course, 12:01 came and went, and here we are. And I'm not saying some judge won't overturn it. The judge that's got the case right now is a Michigan grad. So I'm not saying it won't be overturned, but as far as I'm aware, it hasn't been overturned yet. Kickoff is an hour and a half away. So, Michigan's already at the stadium. They're already on the field warming up right now. It's 10:30. As of right now, Jim Harbaugh's not there, though. Yeah, I think Louisville could beat Florida State. Florida State will be favored, obviously, but I think Louisville could beat them. Don't know that they will, but I think they could. Not if they play like they did Thursday, though. Boy, they played bad on Thursday. Almost got beat by Virginia. Neon Knight Rider, thank you for the super chat. He says, Oklahoma men are historically gold-digging housewives. Watch Killers of the Flower Moon to learn the history about it. You can use this for your season is over. I do want to see Flowers of the Killer Moon. I'm going to be honest with you. The only reason I haven't gone to see it already is because it's 4 hours long. That's the only reason. And first of all, I love Martin Scorsese. And I like Leo DiCaprio too. And I would love to go see it in the movies, but 4 hours, I don't know. So I'm caught between wanting to, I don't go see a lot of movies in the theater anymore. It has to be something I really, really want to see. And that is something I really, really want to see. But generally, I'd rather stay home and wait for it to come on a streaming service so that I can watch it in the comfort of my own home without having to take out a loan to go to the movie theater. The only thing, though, preventing me from seeing that movie already in the theater is the fact that it's 4 hours long. That's it. That's it. If y'all had to pick one major upset today, what would it be? What would y'all pick? You can only pick one. Let's say like in the top 10. Would it be Georgia going down? Would it be Florida State losing to Miami? Michigan losing to Penn State? Oregon losing to Southern Cal? Washington losing to Utah? There's a lot of possibilities. Florida over LSU, FSU, Texas, Washington, Georgia, Michigan, Clemson, Florida State, Georgia, Oak State, Florida State, Michigan, Florida State, Oregon, Penn State. Florida State and Michigan losing seem to be the two most popular picks in the comment section. Florida State or Michigan losing seem to be the two most popular comment section picks. If you're wearing headphones, you might be able to hear that bacon frying. I can hear it. I hear it through my headphones. I hear the bacon frying. Of course, I can smell it too, which is great. No hype and hate. No, I talked about that earlier. I had some stuff come up yesterday with my daughter. It took me a couple hours to do. Wasn't planning on. And then the Jim Harbaugh news later yesterday afternoon, so I just ran out of time. Didn't have time to do it. Breaking on ESPN, Harbaugh will not coach today. I'm watching ESPN right now. I mean, they've been announced that Harbaugh wasn't coaching today since yesterday at 4 o'clock. So the breaking news would be if he is coaching. The breaking news would be if he is coaching. Who's this big-titted blonde girl they got on game day? Who is that? Good Lord. How you doing? Who is that? Heather McMahon? Ole Miss alum? You know, Ole Miss ain't all that bad after all. Smells good in there. What else? What were we talking about? Oh, I don't even know. All right, it's 10:40. All right, here we go. We're going to do the rigged wheel. So if you're not on the wheel and you want to be, you got to do it right now because I'm fixing to start adding names to the wheel. And once I'm done adding names, that's it. So let me pull this wheel up. Random name, wheel, thing, rigged Jones. There we go. All right. Let's delete last week's names. All right. Everybody that helped support the show today through Cash App and PayPal, your name is going to get added to this wheel. We're going to spin the wheel, and whichever name the wheel lands on, you can pick any game you want today against the spread. And if you get that game right, I will send you back 3 times whatever you sent me. Normally it's 2 times, but we didn't have a winner last week. They got the game wrong, so we're going to do 3 times. 3 times the wheel today. Let me see what we got here. Oh, and then we got to do the helmets. Don't let me forget. So we're going to do the wheel, and then I'm going to fix the helmets. Don't let me forget. All right, Jackpot. Got you on the wheel, sir. He wants the over in Rutgers, Iowa, which I think is smart. Sir UGA likes the dogs and the points. I certainly hope he's right. That's for sure. JC likes Kansas and the points. All right, so that's the Cash App. Let's see. Let's go to that right there. Show me that. Yes, show me that. Colby covers, or so I've heard. I guess we'll find out how true that is. J.R. There you go, Jay. He wants me to turn Darth Vader upside down. Where? Right there? Turn Darth Vader upside down. We'll see. J.R. we got you on the wheel, buddy. What do we have here? Jeremy H. Jeremy H, we got you on the wheel. All right, JR, Jeremy H. Swaggy Man. Swaggy Man is a frequent flyer. And I think a multi-time winner, too. I think he's won multiple times. Yeah. I got you with the 2, Ben. I see that, too, so I got you. Zeus. Got Zeus on the wheel. He says, this is for the rigged fucking wheel. Give me Arizona. Okay. Thank you, Zeus. And Anthony S. He likes Tennessee in the points. I do too. I think Tennessee wins and covers today. Huffer Billy Paul says, Michigan cheated. Give me Georgia Tech to cover over my Clemson Tigers, though. All right. Huffer Billy Paul. Jay Shipes likes Kentucky. He says, fuck the Gumps. He thinks Kentucky can cover against Alabama today. Would be hilarious, wouldn't it? Especially since Georgia went ahead and blew Kentucky out without a problem. Rigged wheel, dogs, and the points, says Dennis K. Dennis K, we got you on the wheel. No problem. Let me see. All right. That's that. Come on. Come on, phone. Come on, phone. All right. There we go. Everybody's on the wheel. I think. No, everybody's on there. Here it is. Right there. There you go. Good luck, everyone. Good luck. Y'all know the deal. I need a volunteer. Let's see. We'll let Kyle do it. He says it's rigged. So, Kyle, you must be in on it. Pick a number, Kyle, between 3 and 5. He says 4. All right. Y'all know what that means. We're going to spin the wheel 4 times. Whichever name it lands on. We're going to test your football knowledge. Here we go. Spin number 1. good luck to everybody, and I really appreciate all y'all helping to support the show this morning. That means a lot. HBP was the first name. We're looking for the fourth name, though. Looking for the fourth name today. Looks like JC. All right, spin number 3 coming up. Spin number 3. Jeremy H. So close, Jeremy H. But yet so far away. All right, the final spin. Let's see who today's winner is on the rigged wheel. Is it Jackpot? Oh, Jackpot! Look how close that was. Look how close. Jackpot and Dennis K. Wow, extremely close. Jackpot, I believe, took the over in Iowa Rutgers, right? We just looked at it a minute ago. Let's see. Yes, he wants the over in Rutgers in Iowa, which was at 28 the last time I checked. Let's see what it's at now. Rutgers and Iowa. Boy, just must-see TV there, too, with the Rutgers and Iowa. Just an amazing game on tap there. Rutgers and Iowa, where are you? Did I skip it? Where is Rutgers in Iowa? Looking for Rutgers in Iowa. Am I scrolling past it and y'all are probably screaming in the comments, you just scrolled past it, dummy? Probably did. Rutgers in Iowa, where are you? I just, look at this. I can't find it to save my damn life. Rutgers in Iowa. Okay. Rutgers in Iowa. Where is it? It's a 3:30 game. Okay. It's a 3:30 game. Rutgers in Iowa. Where are you? It's not on here. So I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up. It's not on. Would they take it off the board because the over-under was too low? What in the hell? Hold on. I'm going to look somewhere else. I'm going to look somewhere else. I've got another site pulled up. Rutgers in Iowa. Did I miss it and y'all are yelling at me in the comment section? I didn't see it on there. Rutgers in Iowa, 27.5. He wants the over. All right. 27.5 is better than 28 anyway, if you're betting the over. Let's write Jackpot's name down. I think that would be a good idea. Cross that out. All right. Rigged wheel, week 11. Jackpot, over 27.5. Rutgers, Iowa. There you go. There you go. Now we got to do some work on these helmets. Thank you all for helping to support the show. By the way, I appreciate it. Jackpot needs to win the wheel because his team can't win in football, says Dylan. You know what? That's a fair point. Although I do think his team will win today at home against Vandy. He's a South Carolina fan. Jared G says, Penn State over Michigan would be a beautifully sweet fuck you to the people riding Harbaugh's dick, pleading for him to be let off. Yeah, I get a feeling a lot of people are rooting for Penn State today, or pulling for Penn State today. Well, let's see. Has his suspension been overturned? What is the judge waiting on? Michigan fans swore to me that this was getting overturned and that Harbaugh would not miss a single game. There will not be a ruling today in Jim Harbaugh's request. This is breaking news from Pete Thamel. There will not be a ruling today in Jim Harbaugh's request for a temporary restraining order, according to a person familiar with the court filings. This means Jim Harbaugh will not coach at Penn State today. All right, my Twitter is open for all you Michigan fans to come and apologize to Uncle Lou. Apologize even, too, if you want to. You could even apologize. You could even apologize. Let me see. Yeah, let me go ahead and... There we go. Let's stay with that. All right. We got some work to do on these helmets. I went to the I went to my the post office box the other day. 5 helmets in there from you guys. I really appreciate this too. Unfortunately, like is usually the case, when people send me stuff, it comes from a website and it doesn't tell me who sent it. It tells me the website it came from, or if it was Amazon or whatever. So I don't know who sent most of these helmets. I would love to thank them personally. It's just unfortunately, I don't know who sent me these. So to whoever sent me these, and I did this on Thursday, I'm going to do it again now, but to whoever sent me these, a big thank you. I really appreciate it. I've told y'all before, I've got, I don't know, 130 helmets. I might have bought 30 or 40 of them, maybe. The rest of them you guys sent to me. So, we've got a couple of replacement helmets and a couple of new helmets that I never had. This is a replacement helmet. Matte black Iowa State. I have the, I guess it's burgundy or crimson Iowa State helmet. I'll show you in a minute. But so we'll replace the burgundy one with the new one. And thank you to whoever sent me the Iowa State helmet. The matte black helmets, you can't go wrong. I've never seen a matte black base helmet that doesn't look good. They all look good, no matter the team, no matter the colors. All the matte black helmets look good. And if you need more proof, Oklahoma State. I like this one too. Matte black with the cursive Cowboys on the side and white, the orange face mask. This is a good looking helmet. The Oklahoma State helmet I had, to me, is the ugliest helmet I had. I'll show it to you in a minute when we swap it out. But shout out for the Oklahoma State helmet. Thank you very much. Here we go. This is not matte black, but I do like it better than the other one I have. West by God, Virginia. The white helmet with the blue state, outline of the state there in blue, and the gold WV with a blue face mask. Blue and yellow stripe. The West Virginia helmet that I have is the traditional blue with the yellow WV on it. So we'll swap that out. There we go with that. And 2 new helmets that I did not have. Wyoming. Did not have that, so thank you. And one more. Again, this is a matte black variation of a school I did not have. James Madison, the newest member of the FBS, James Madison. All right, so let's do some swapping around. Let me change mics. All right, y'all hear me all right? I know it's going to sound a little hollow, but it's because I got to walk around. All right, West Virginia and Oklahoma State. Down with the old West Virginia, up with the new, and down with the old Oklahoma State. Up with the new. This is the Oklahoma State helmet I was talking about that I already have. I call it the Yosemite Sam. So I'm not going to lie. I'm glad to get that one replaced. Iowa State. Take down the traditional burgundy, put up the matte black. This was the Iowa State helmet I had. So now we have two. The traditional and a matte black. And then the two new teams, of course, that which were James Madison and Wyoming. Wyoming will go here. UTSA, Western Kentucky, Wyoming. And James Madison will go Furman, Georgia Southern, Georgia State, Hawaii, Idaho, Louisiana. So it goes here. It goes right there. There we go. Nothing to it. All right. See how easy that was? Oh, we got to fix the upside down helmets. God dang it. I promise I know what I'm doing. We got to fix the upside down helmets. Hold on. So last week, Ohio State was upside down until they scored 28 points, and they did. So Ohio State gets turned back the right way. Michigan. Well, Michigan cheated. It's staying upside down for a while. Arkansas. Arkansas helmet has been upside down pending an SEC win, which they finally got last week against Florida. So the Arkansas helmet goes back the right way like that. Clemson, unfortunately, even though they won last week, they still turned the ball over. The Clemson helmet stays upside down until they go one full game with no turnovers, which is probably never happening until they bench Cade Klubnik. Colorado helmet is staying upside down until I just don't feel like it anymore. So it stays upside down. So that's it. Michigan, Clemson, Colorado are currently the only three upside down helmets. I will take nominations for one more upside down helmet right now if somebody wants to give me one. It's gotta be something good, something that makes sense, and something that has a possibility of at least being turned back over the right way sometime soon. So you gotta tell me which helmet to turn over, why you want me to turn it over, and what they have to do to get it turned back the right way. Turn UGA over till they lose? No. BYU until they beat a Big 12 team? Are they winless in the Big 12? I'll do that. Fuck BYU. All right, here's BYU. Upside down until they win a Big 12 game. Anything else? Southern Cal until Caleb stops crying. Notre Dame until they win a bowl game. Ooh. Oklahoma until they win a game. Iowa scores 3 offensive touchdowns in a game. I like that. Iowa. There you go. Iowa helmet upside down. Got to score 3 touchdowns. 3 offensive touchdowns. 3 offensive touchdowns. Colorado's already upside down. Vanderbilt till they fix their stadium? Shit, that could take a decade at this rate. Leave Napier alone. I agree with Mario. Napier should be given a contract extension, a permanent one. Ole Miss until Lane Kiffin combs his hair? That's funny. That's funny. Anything else? All right, I tell you what. We'll leave it there. We'll leave the helmets there for now. I'll be back on YouTube at 3:30. I'm live streaming all the 3:30 games. I'm live streaming all the 3:30 games. So during the 3:30 stream this afternoon, maybe depending on what happens in the noon games or what's going on in the 3:30 games or whatever, we'll maybe flip another couple of helmets upside down during the stream this afternoon at 3:30. Put the Florida Gators helmet back in the trash, says B-Punk. Jesse Bonham, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me this morning, though. I hope everybody enjoys their Saturday of college football. I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, there are great games on today, really at all 3 time slots. And even the late night 10:30 slot, we've got the Southern Cal-Oregon game. I'm expecting a couple of big surprises today. And I'm nervous as a Georgia fan. I'm just going to be honest with you. Not really because I think Ole Miss is, somehow better than Georgia or whatever, but it feels like one of those days to me in college football where some weird things are going to happen. And I always get nervous on those days. So, does Georgia go down? Does Florida State go down? Does Oregon lose to Southern Cal? Does Washington lose to Utah? Does Michigan lose to Penn State? It kind of just feels like one of those days to me. I obviously hope Georgia wins, but, we'll see. We'll be back at 3:30 right here on this channel. We'll live stream all the afternoon games. We'll hang out. We'll watch them. We'll have a great time. And then the Patreon stream today will start at 7. And it's going to start right at 7, too. So if you're not signed up on the Patreon page and you want to look around and maybe consider it, there's a link in the description of the video that will take you to the Patreon page. You can have a look around if you decide you want to get yourself signed up. That would be great, and we can hang out and watch the primetime games over on the Patreon page today, starting at 7 o'clock with Georgia and Ole Miss. The way that works is at about 6:55 or so, I will post a link on the Patreon page. Just go to the Patreon page. You'll see the link posted. Click the link. It'll take you to the primetime live stream over on Patreon. Good luck to everybody's team today. I hope all your teams win, unless you're an Ole Miss fan. And it's nothing personal, but you already know they got to tote a giant L today. For the rest of you, good luck. I hope all your teams win. It's going to be a great day of college football. I'll be posting videos all day, halftime videos, update videos, post-game videos, all that kind of stuff like I always do. Then live at 3:30 right here on this channel, live at 7 o'clock tonight over on the Patreon page. Enjoy your Saturday, and I'll see you again soon. Have a good morning.